Hey guys, Ken Smith Fishing. Before I go to the video, you know, one of the things that makes me crazy is coming back to a video later and wanting to see how to do something and having to watch a 20-minute video to watch 30 seconds of it. So I'm going to give you guys an index. I'm going to post it right behind this at the start of this video. But here's what we're going to cover today for a Garmin unit. How to create a combo view, how to delete a combo view, how to edit a combo view. So if you want to make one bigger or smaller or switch something in and out, I'm going to show you how to do that. How to add to the favorites page. That's the best place to park whatever views you like to see on a regular basis. How to just sleep one unit. It's real simple, but I missed it for a while when I first started using my Garmin. So that's important. How to capture a screenshot. Auto scroll speed on your unit, which is whether you're in 2D, 3D, or side imaging. It's a really cool option. Picking color schemes, which most of us know. What I see a lot of guys doing, kind of blowing out the contrast, trying to look way out sideways on side view. I'm going to show you kind of what you can do and why that, you know, a way to fix that so that you're not blowing it out and you can still pick out your individual targets. How to add range lines on the side imaging. I've noticed there's really two disadvantages to running a Humminbird and a Garmin side by side at the dash. I'm going to share those with you. I'm going to show you how to put it in simulator mode if you ever need to do that. And then lastly, I'm going to show you something that I think is extremely cool for managing waypoints, especially around the spawn. They've got something in their waypoint system that makes it where you can add and delete all of a set of waypoints really, really simply. So I'm going to show you all that. We're going to jump right to this video, but what you're going to see scrolling on the side there is at what moment in this video you can watch every one of those different parts. So let's check that out, guys. Here we go. Hey guys, Ken Smith Fishing. So I'm going to show you all some things that have changed on the Garmin in the newer versions for some of you who are using the older versions, or if you're new to the Garmins, some things that are going to be intuitively different than maybe what you've seen using Humminbird or Lowrance products, just kind of an ease of use thing, and just some basic tips and tricks. We did not get a spark energy drawing last week, so we're going to do two today. Matter of fact, let's do one right here real quick. And then let's do that. Let's do a quick spark energy drawing. Okay, spark drawing number one. We're going to go right there. I just pulled the name right out of the top. Phil Hanks out of Buna, Texas. Congratulations. Dang it, I dropped it back in there. Here it is, Phil Hanks. You're our winner for the first spark drawing. Stick around to the end for the second spark drawing. And also I'm going to update you on all the lakes. Okay, so stick around at the end of the video. We'll do a second drawing. That was last week's drawing. This will be this week's drawing. And I'm also going to update you on all the lakes with the big bass bounties that we have on them. There's 2,000 bucks on a bunch of different lakes, and I think there's 7 or 8 nobody's even tried to claim a prize yet on. So stick around for that at the end of this video. But let's talk a little bit about the Humminbirds. We have a Humminbird too, by the way. So there's my setup. Now the Humminbird's turned off. There's my Garmin. And what I want to show you is how to navigate. So we're going to go home. Whoops, we're going to go home. And we're going to go, so you see all there. I don't have any favorites. I'll show you how to set that up in a minute. But you see, that's my home screen. And on Lowrance's for sure, and on the older Garmin's, if you wanted to add a combo there, there would be a little plus sign there, and you would hit that plus sign. That's not how it works on, whoops. Sorry, we got a motion light in here. That's not how it works on this unit now. So what you want to do, again, so let's go back to home. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go home. You got your favorites up there. You got your combos. Actually, that may be better with the light off. You got your combos right there, right? And let's say you wanted to add a combo. All you do now is you drop down to the menu button and you say add a combo. And this is actually really, really slick how you can set this up. So let's say what I want to look at here is going to be, I want to do a layout and I want to look at side imaging. So I tap to add at the top. I'm going to tell it I want to add a sonar. I want to add side view. So my side view is going to be at the top. And then at the bottom, again, I want to say sonar. And let's say I want to have livescope at the bottom. Done. And now what I've got, now obviously I'm sitting in the boat barn so you can't see it, but what I've got is I've got my side imaging on the top and I've got my down imaging on the bottom. Okay, so let's now go back and let's say we wanted to delete one of these. So let's say that I don't think I'm ever going to use that one right there, which I certainly will. What I would want to do now is do the same thing. Whoops, let's go back here. We're going to go from the combo screen, we're going to go to menus. I'm going to say delete a combo. I'm going to click on that combo right there, and it says delete this combo, yes or no, and I say yes. And this is one of those things, I use a little bit of everything. I certainly use the split nav setup, and I certainly use the map, the side view, and the down view, but actually I probably would even want to change that one. So let's edit that one. So let's say home, menu, edit the combo. Let's say I want to edit that combo right there. And let's say I really don't care so much since, where was my side view? So I want to move my side view to here. So here's what I'm going to do. The first thing I got to do is get side view off the screen, which sounds strange. But so let's just go right there and let's tell it we want to move that to livescope. Now we can come over here and click on this one and go back and say, okay, really what I wanted was side view there. And what I want over here instead of livescope is I want down imaging. Okay, now this is something that I think is extremely cool the way Garmin has set this up. Make sure we're still in frame there. We are. Okay, that is, if I want to really increase the size of my side imaging, which is usually what I want to do, I can drag that way over there, done. And what you're going to see now is I've made about 3/4 of my screen side imaging versus down imaging versus my map. Now in this case I now have two of the same thing, which I really don't want, so I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to say delete a combo. I'm going to hit the garbage can on that one, delete that combo, and now I've got 4 really simple things. Now I don't use my map on here much because I use my mapping on my Humminbird. That's what I have the Humminbird for, but I do on occasion, so I'm going to leave it right there. But now I want to go to my favorite screen and I want to create a favorite. So here's how you do that. So from the favorite screen, all you got to do that is you go, let's go back to combos, and let's say I want to make that this one right here one of my favorites. I hold it down for a while and you see, bam, it's now added to my favorites. So when I go to my favorite screen, there it is right there. Menu, remove a favorite. I've got 2 of the same thing on there. Yes, and it's gone now. Really, really simple to use. But again, a little counterintuitive based upon some of the stuff we've used on other units before if you're new to Garmin. Okay, a couple other little tips and tricks on your Garmin unit. So when you get up from yours, you see I pretty much always turn my back graphs off. Look, I'm running 4 really powerful graphs on the boat all the time, and I'm trying to conserve battery even though I have great batteries and a great charging system. What you want to do is you touch this button and you see when that pops up, turn off the entire system or just this station, and you just want to sleep that station. And then when you get back here, all you got to do is tap your power button again, bam, your station's turned right back on. So that's really easy, really handy. Okay, one of the questions I got the other day that is such a simple thing to do, and they've all gotten better at this, but say you see something on your graph and you want to share it and you want to do a screenshot. It's incredibly simple. Now you do have to have a SD card, a micro SD card in the back of the unit. All you got to do is press and hold home page. For just a second, you're going to see it jumps up, says file save. I've got it. Okay, and it's just been saved. You're done. You've got your screenshot saved, so you can download it later, post it to Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want to post it to. Okay, another thing that most people don't think about, you know, with my Humminbirds, I always manually set my speed of my scroll to correspond with the speed of the boat moving. This one actually will do that for you, and it's a pretty cool thing you do. So you say menu, and you say I want to adjust my side imaging. You go down here to side view setup, you go scroll speed, and you tell it auto. It's got a GPS unit in it, right? So it's going to know how fast the boat's moving, and it's going to match up the boat speed with the speed of the chart to give you the best possible view of it. So again, just some additional little things to make it easier to use the unit. So you have your combos up there, right? You have your sonar and your charts down there. Easiest thing to do is dump them on the favorites page, so it's kind of the same thing. So let's say I want to make sure, where's my side view? I just touch and hold the side view down, bang, it's added to my favorites. So now the things I use the most on here, my side view and my clear view, and the combo of the 2 are on favorites. So anytime I'm in here, back, let's say I'm rolling along here on that chart, and I want to go, I can go home, faves, bam, and I'm right back to my down view. Now, I'll also say, I see a lot of guys who pick a color scheme and just seem to stay with that color scheme all the time. What I have personally found is, the color schemes really change based upon the light that I have, the sort of the ambient light. So bright sunlight versus dark versus clouds versus even how dirty the screen is. So again, the way to get there is to go down here and go menu, right? Now there's two menus there, so you got to make sure it's on that top menu. I've actually clicked that before and got really lost on what the heck was going on. Go to side view setup, and it's under appearance. Whoops, hit the wrong one. Back, appearance. And then at the top, you got your color scheme right there. And you can see there's all kinds. I probably use the most the amber and the copper in very low light. Now, one thing to note here, and this is a thing I see a lot of guys do in trying to see more and more stuff, they will actually take and they'll blow their contrast out. And actually, let's do this. Let's pause it. Okay, so we can get a really good look at something. Menu. Let's go back to contrast. Okay, and actually let's go back. Let's do a zoom. Okay, back. Oops, I was right there. Menu, contrast. And what you'll see is when you turn that contrast up, you start losing some of those shadows because you're just overpowering it so much. And to me, that contrast in the 60s and 70s usually gives me better bait and or just general target separation than really blowing it through the roof and just burning everything out. Now, don't confuse again on Garmin units contrast with brightness. You can turn the brightness up pretty high and not have that same issue. This is all about, put it back on auto medium, I'm not sure how that got turned off. This is all about contrast, and contrast is where you can blow a screen out. And I see guys doing this when they're trying to see further and further out on the side of their side view. You don't want to do that. You really want to keep that contrast, if at all possible, turned down in that range right there. And if you can't see stuff, you want to go back here and you want to change your appearance. You want to change your color scheme and find a color scheme that works in that light that you're currently fishing in, and that'll give you better color, give you better separation of your targets, which is what you're looking for on these units. Another thing, and actually I'm going to change that just because I don't like that color. So my appearance, color scheme, let's go back to my amber right there, back. One other thing that can be handy, but it really clutters the screen, but just to know that it's in there, is adding those range lines. So now when you see a target out there, oops, let's turn our magnify off. When you see a target out there, you can look down and say, all right, well, that target's 40 feet off. And remember, when you do that, the first 20 feet in this case, or 25 feet, is down. So really, that's only 15 feet off the side of the boat. We've talked about that. This thing measures from the transducer. So if it's 40 feet away, it's 25 feet down and 15 feet off to the side. So, well, there's some pretty pictures on there right there. But again, that really, to me, really starts cluttering up a little bit. Now, I will share with you that the one downside that I've experienced to running a Humminbird and a Garmin, or any mixture of graphs at the dash, there's one and there's two, because there's something I don't have the ability to do. And the first one is that if I see something out there and I want to drop a waypoint on it, right? And I want to drop a waypoint on it, right? So I say, well, wait a minute, what was that thing right there? Dang it. All right. And even if I want to zoom on it, and I say, that's a target I really want to drop a waypoint on. Then when I drop a waypoint on that target, how do I do that? I simply hit mark, okay? And that, I'm not going to do it because we're in simulator mode, but that would mark my waypoint. Now I cannot see it on my Humminbird map because it's housed in the Garmin. That is one of the only two downsides I found, that if you're looking for brush piles, once you mark it on here, I then have to use my Garmin unit on the front in the map and livescope mode to find it. I wish there was a way they could share, but they can't. But I'll show you something else I've actually started seeing guys do recently that is actually, frankly, pretty dang cool, but I don't have the ability to do it on this one. So again, I've got a set of 12-inch units here, and what I'm seeing some guys do now, let's resume, is they're going in here and they're taking their right-hand unit, they're going to side view setup, they're going to appearance, and they're saying, I'm only going to look at the right on the right and only on the left at the left. and now you get this humongous picture, and they're literally splitting their units left and right. You could do it with a Humminbird, you could do it with a Lowrance, you can do it with a Garmin. And I don't have this unit set up for side imaging. I guess I could, and that would give me the ability to do that, but that would require a second side imaging transducer bolted to the motor back there. So, you know, another $800,000–900,000. But nonetheless, if you're running the same units in both places, that's an advantage to be able to split that down imaging, have one on the left and one on the right. And, you know, when we all have 5 units here in the future, you'll be able to run down imaging and mapping and everything up here. But that's pretty cool right now. And oh, by the way, again, just kind of showing you how to navigate the unit. If you ever want to put it in this mode for whatever reason, just wanted to look at it, all you do is you go to Settings, System, Simulator, and you turn it on. I'm going to turn it back off, so it's now back off, and I'm back to live mode. But that's how you turn the simulator on your, at least on the 8600 series Garmin units. Okay, so this is probably one of the coolest things I found on this particular unit about managing waypoints. And I went to Grand several years ago, and it was a bunch of fish were on the nest. So I have a bunch of waypoints up there. Now, a lot of them were lay down logs or docks where I had caught fish or a big rock on the bank, but 40 or 50 of them are fish that I found on the nest that I went back to check later. The problem with those are, now those waypoints are on there forever, even though those fish were on the nest 5 years ago. So this is something that is really cool. And what you can do here is, let's say, well, let's back up. Let's say I wanted to put a waypoint right there. I can add a waypoint, waypoint. And I've already told the system when I add the waypoint that I want to use that little fish. You see fish 6. That's what I want to use. And that's very easy. I'll show you how to do that later. But now let's say later I want to go back and I've marked those 4 fish here in Plano on the side of the road on the nest, and I want to delete only that icon. This system will let me do it, and here's how you do it. Okay, so check this out. This is really cool. So I'm on my page. You see I've got my nest fish laid out here. I go to Info, User Data, and I want to tell it I want to delete user data, waypoints by symbol. Delete all waypoints with this symbol. Fishing area, yes, okay. Back, back, back. They're all gone. That is so handy, so that now you can go in on anything. You're fishing high water and you know that there's something you see that you're never going to fish again. But really and truly, I think it's the best for nest fish. You just go in there, by the way, you go to Mark, and you would say symbol, and you just tell it what symbol you want to put in there. There's a whole bunch of them. And once you do it once, it'll set that symbol for all of them that you set until you go back in and change that again. So that's just some kind of how to get around on the Garmin unit. I think it's a really cool unit. I'm still learning it, but I've spent a lot of time with it already. And it's easy to use. It's just not quite as intuitive. That's not fair. It probably is intuitive. It's just something I'm having to relearn after using Humminbirds all these years. So I thought you guys might find that handy or interesting. And let's go back now and let's look at Spark Energy. Let's do another drawing, and let's talk a little bit about what lakes have not had anybody try to claim the $2,000 prize off of yet. Here we go, guys. Okay, so we're going to do drawing number 2 for Spark before we close. But before we do, so there was a little bit of confusion on our part, my part. I'll take the blame for it, in that we had announced 9 lakes. And in that list, Falcon was in that list. And then I accidentally in a video the other day said Texoma, and I had several guys say, hey, why isn't Texoma on the list? So I've talked to Spark folks, and guess what? There's now 10 lakes on the Big Bass. They're just amazing guys to work with. I cannot tell you how much fun it is to work with these guys. But there's now 10 lakes that at the end of the year, if somebody tries to claim the money, all you got to do is catch an 8-pounder, submit it to Cheryl Unker, submit it to us. You got to be a Spark Energy customer or Spark Fishing affiliate. 75 bucks, pretty dang simple. Somebody's gonna win $2 grand. So this is the screenshot, and there'll be a link in the description below exactly where to go see this, and it's the same place you can sign up for this program. But what you see right now is there's 10 lakes. There's only 3 lakes where anybody has even weighed an 8-pounder to claim this. That's Amstead, Fork, and Rayburn. And then you can also see below that on other lakes. Remember, there's also the $250, $500, or $1,000 bounty, which is all described on this page. for any lake in Texas. Again, Spark Energy customer or Spark Fishing affiliate. And we've paid out 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those, and including one to a father-son, the Beyondies, who, if you remember, also won money at one of the Bass Champs tournaments. So those guys are really taking advantage of this program, doing a great job. So that's all about that. Let's make our last drawing here this week. And I'm trying to get one kind of out of the bottom, and there's one right there, right out of the middle. Christopher Ford out of Winnsboro, Texas is our second Spark winner for the evening. That catches us up because I didn't do a drawing last week. So both of you guys have got the drawings 2 or 3 weeks out. You'll get an envelope that says rewards on it. Don't throw that away. It's got a $250 gift certificate from your friends at Spark Energy. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I got more good stuff coming this week. We're going to be over at Jones Trolling Motor this week. We're going to do a little filming over there. I got some filming from down at 6 Cents Waterland the other day I'm going to share with you guys. And we're going to do a little fishing as well. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see y'all here in a few days.